Hello everyone and welcome back to Mars for another nature figure review. Of course, we're keeping it Storm Collectibles with King of Fighters 98, Joe Higashi. Now let me just say right off the gate, Storm Collectibles, they have been nailing it out of the park when it comes to King of Fighters 98. They keep releasing figure after figure after figure we've done reviewed. This is going to be the second KOF figure reviewed on the channel this year. We've got Orochi, not the first release one, but the other guy. He's coming soon. I'm going to be reviewing him as well. Awesome design. And then we have Kim, which Kim is going to be a special occasion because Kim is going to be post tariffs and all of that. So we'll dive more into that later on. However, let's focus here on Joe. Special thank you to Joe Lee over in Hong Kong. In my last Storm Collectible video, I dropped the link for his website. That service is technically no longer available until further notice. So thank you, Joe Lee. This Joe review is for you. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get this figure out of the box and see what all it comes with. For Joe, we're going to be getting 3 head sculpts and they all look great. You have our first head sculpt here. That's a nice stoic expression, almost kind of smart, smirking and cocky, like the character kind of is cocky and ready to fight, right? Muay Thai champion or Muay Thai king, whichever, Muay Thai champion. And then we've got our next expression with him gritting his teeth, a little bit more expression and emotion, angry emotion is going into that head sculpt. Looks really good, fantastic. And then lastly, we have him yelling, performing a big move with this expression here, and it looks great. Like the paint application on the head sculpts, like the detailing with the headbands, which, speaking of the headbands, you do get 3 straps for the back. Now, if you'll notice, we've got one down here at the bottom of the tray, and the hands are kind of loose as well. That is due just because the plastic tray, although it is snugly on tight, it's just not clamping down to hold these parts into place. And then you can see here on this second strap that it does seem that there's some black smuck or whatever you want to call it is on the headband, so that does unfortunately suck with the release, but it is what it is. Now let's go ahead and take a look at these accessories that we have here in the back. Much like Go Knits, it looks like Joe is also going to be using some kind of wind effects as well, tornado effects, which is pretty cool, I guess. Let's go ahead and get this figure out of the plastic and start off with some size comparisons. For our first size comparisons, we're keeping it Capcom versus SNK. On the left, we have Ryu Sakazaki from KOF 98. And then we have Ultra Street Fighter 4's Evil Ryu from Capcom, of course. So great comparison between these ones. They line up and scale perfectly together. And looking forward to seeing our next size comparison featuring Jada Toys. Coming out of Jada Toys, we have their Ultra Street Fighter 2's Sagat, their Muay Thai King, or Capcom's Muay Thai King. Looks really good. Does it scale well with Joe? I would say no, arguably because Sagat should be a lot taller than Joe, but with the 2 different scalings of the companies, this is what you're going to get. And to further prove that, yes, I did bring ahead the Maximum Series Spider-Man, and you can see how the scaling is just all out of whack now. However, with this out of the way, let's go ahead and take a closer look at Joe himself and see how well Storm Collectibles captured the character's aesthetic. When it comes to Joe Higashi, the one thing, aesthetically speaking, is that his character design is pretty simple and straightforward to the point, as he is a Muay Thai fighter. Nothing crazy is going to be going on with the character design, so Storm Collectibles, they did a great job aesthetically with Joe. And I would say they do that for the most part across the board for all of their figures across their IPs. They always do a great job of capturing the aesthetics, and I'm looking forward to more KOF reviews and more figures coming out this year just to see those awesome aesthetics. So yeah, for Joe, aesthetically, the figure looks great. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the articulation for this figure. Probably, I like to think to myself that every release is an improved figure in some shape or form, and you can kind of see that here with Joe. Really good, again with the muscle structure, paint application, you know, all the great stuff here. But our Joe can look down this much, he can look up this much, lean side to side. For our arms, he can do the T-pose, no problem. And you could probably do a Y, but we're not going to go too crazy. You can see it there. rotate all the way around. There is a squeakiness. And then the one thing I will say that does stand out to me with these shoulder sleeves, it looks like they're kind of wavy. And that's something new, something different I haven't seen from Storm yet. Welcomed as always. Torso up top is soft. Looks good. The abdomen is hard plastic, so you can got the rocker movement up here. You got it down here at the waist as well. Looks good. Butterfly joints as well. So you can get the cross arms here. Even double jointed elbows as well. Have your swivel. All the good stuff when it comes to the articulation. And then of course, you get the occasional sleeve coming out, which for me kind of sucks because I'm always struggling trying to get it back together. You really have to sit down and focus. And now you can see the difference and how it just makes a huge difference, right? For the legs here, you can do a split. Looks pretty good. You can see down up in there, they colored that red, which is good. You get that 90-degree double jointed knees. The foot does extend out, and then you do have your toe pivot as well, and some ankle rockers. Decent articulation. Pretty much standard at this point, right, for Storm Collectibles. But man, the aesthetic of this figure and just the overall finish of this figure looks really good with his big shoulder right here. All right, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the conclusion for this review. In the end, I am very excited for KOF from Storm Collectibles. I mean, we've gotten so many KOF figures in the past 2 years. It really does show Storm's effort to complete this roster, finishing up some of the teams. We just seen Andy Bogard has been revealed. We haven't got the actual figure reveal, but we know he is coming to the Storm Collectible line soon, thus completing the Fatal Fury team. A lot of exciting stuff for KOF from Storm Collectibles. So if you want to see more of that, make sure you stick around. But when we're talking Joe here, had a great time with this figure and very excited. Like I said, I'm just super excited for KOF. We got another review coming, Orochi, not the badass final boss Orochi, but the other one. He's coming soon, so be on the look for that. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Peace.